Hi, this is a short video on changing cost and revenue functions. We're going to base this on question 2 out of the 2014 Algebraic Models test. Our learning intentions here are to understand two ways of generating a new revenue function based on changing circumstances, to understand how to create a profit equation by using the new revenue function and understand how to use that profit equation. So we're going to start off here. Here's our situation. Cameras galore. Just get rid of that. Produce digital cameras which they sell for $170. The cameras cost them $30 each to make, and they have further costs of $19,500 per month to cover wages and other business costs. Write down the equations for the cost and revenue functions for cameras galore. So we'll start off with the cost one because that's usually revenue, because that's usually easiest. Their revenue is going to be $170 per camera that they sell. So here X is the number of cameras sold, R is revenue. That's fairly straightforward. Cost equation, the costs are $30 per camera, so again X is the number of cameras sold, and they have fixed costs of $19,500, so that's their costs and that's their revenue. And that's that done. Algebraically determine how many cameras the company must make and sell in order to break even. Correct to 2 decimal places. So now it is important here, it says algebraically, so we're going to have to show a couple of lines of working here. To start off with, break even occurs when revenue equals cost. So that means 170x, that's our revenue, equals our costs, 30x plus 19,500. Now, really, that's the algebra that we need to show. You could then solve using your calculator, which we'll do in a second, but I'll just show a bit more algebraic working here. If I take 30x from both sides, that leaves me with 140x here, equals 19,500. And then if I divide both sides by 140, x equals 19,500 over 140. If we go over and have a look at the calculator, look in there, divided by 140, gives us 139.2857. Now it says correct to 2 decimal places, so it was going to be 139.2, and it's going to go up to 9 because the third decimal place is 5. So 139.29 cameras. Now you can probably get away with just solving at this stage and going straight to x equals 139.29. So just to make sure you know how to do that, you type in 170x equals 30x plus 19,500, which tells us that. You can then highlight interactive, advanced, solve. There we go, sorry, solve for x. X is 139.29. Okay, now the next bit. Says due to an economic downturn, cameras galore are having trouble selling their cameras. They decide that after they have sold 200 cameras, they will then discount the price for any additional camera to a price of 130, and they can make up to 300 cameras in a month. Determine the new revenue function for over 200 cameras and use it to calculate their profit for that month if they sold 250 cameras to the nearest cent. Okay, so the thing we have to focus on first is determining the new revenue function. Don't worry about the rest of it until we've done that. There's a couple of different ways we could do it, so I'll show you two. Now, one way is to think about the endpoints of the new revenue function. If we have the 2 points at the end, we can just do a linear reg, and that'll give us the equation. And that's all we'd have to do. It doesn't say to use do it algebraically, so linear reg would be fine. So we know that it goes from 0 to 200, and then it goes up to 300, so 200 to 300 doesn't actually include the point 200, so it's 201. But this is our revenue 1 situation, and this is our revenue 2 situation. So revenue 1 we've already worked out. Revenue 2, so we're interested in the point at 200 where we sell 200, and we already know that if we sold 200, that would be 200 cameras, and they are 170 each, which gives us 34,000. So point 1 would be 200 cameras, we make 34,000. The next one, point 2, okay, well that's going to be 300 cameras, and here we've already made 34,000. We then sell an additional 100 cameras at the new rate. So it's 100 cameras at the new rate. So 100 times they're 130 at the new rate. Oh, 130. And we've already made 34,000. So our total revenue is going to be 300. Sorry, 300 is the number of cameras sold. 100 times 130 gives us 13,000, plus 34,000 gives us 47,000. So we've got 2 points there. There's point 1 and point 2. And if we put those into the calculator and do a linear reg, we'll get the equation of that straight line. So, if you go into statistics, I've already got those points in. 234,000, 347,000. Do a linear reg, and we get y equals 130x plus 8,000. Now our y here is revenue 2, it's our second situation, revenue 2, 130x plus 8,000. That's our new revenue equation. That's one way to work it out. If incidentally, if it said algebraically, sorry, so here we've done linear reg. If it said algebraically, oh dear, you would just have to take those 2 points and then do your y2 take y1 over x2 take x1, etc. Find the equation, find the gradient, and then sub into y minus y1 equals a x minus x1, and so on. But you would get the same equation then. Okay, one other way to do it, a bit more straightforward I think in some ways, would be to say, okay, well, my new revenue equation is going to give me $130, I know that here, for every camera that I sell over 200. So not just for every camera, but every camera over 200. So I do it like this. So for example, if I sold 275 cameras, I would get 275 minus 200 is 75 at the new rate. So this is the number at the new rate of 130. Not forgetting that I've already made 200 cameras at the old rate. So 200 times 170, as we know, is 34,000. There we go. So I could multiply out and tidy up, or you could use your calculator again. I'll just do it algebraically first, then show you with the calculator. So it'll be 130x minus 130 times 200 is going to be 26,000, plus the 34,000 is going to give me, revenue 2 is 130x, and see the difference here is 8,000. So it's the same as this one here, which is what we expected. You could go straight from this line here to that answer on your calculator. If we just go to menu, main, if I type in y equals 130, I guess x minus 200 plus 34,000, do the same thing we did before, just highlight it, drag it down, interactive, advanced, solve for y. There we go, 130x plus 8,000. Now it says use it to calculate the profit. So we can't just sub in 250 into this because we need the profit equation. Now profit equals revenue minus costs. So 250 is in our second zone of our revenue 2. Revenue 1 is from 0 to 200, revenue 2 is from 200 to 300, so 250 cameras is going to fit in here. So it's going to be profit equals revenue 2 minus cost. Profit then is going to be 130x plus 8,000 minus, and use your brackets here, our cost equation was 30x plus 19,500. Okay, again, you could just use your calculator to simplify that, or you could do it algebraically, or indeed you could just leave it like that, because either case it'll still be the same equation. So I'll simplify it now. 130x plus 8,000 minus 30x minus 19,500 gives me 100x minus 11,500. You can use your calculator again if you like to do things like that algebraically. 130x plus 8,000 minus brackets 30x plus 90,500. There we go. Y equals 100x minus 11,500, which is what we've got there. Okay, final bit. Find the profit when we sell 250. So, now just make a little bit of extra space down here. Sub in x equals 250. If you can write things like this, it makes it so much easier for the people who are marking your work, as we can see exactly what it is that you're intending to do. Profit equals 100 times 250 minus 11,500. Profit equals, so 100 times 250, do it in the calculator if you like. 25,000 minus 11,500 gives us $13,500 of profit. Sorry, it's supposed to be a dollar sign. $13,500. There we go. That's it. So hopefully what you've got there is two ways of generating a new revenue function based on changing circumstances. Understand how to create the profit equation by using that. So in that case it was profit equals revenue 2 minus cost, because that's where it fell in, and how to use that profit equation. Remember, if you can tell people what you're doing, it makes it so much easier to read. Okay, that's it.